Today we'll be making Shrinky Dinks. You'll need scissors, the hole punch, Sharpie, colored pencils, and your sandpaper. So the Shrinky Dink paper is going to look something like this. It's very thin, and when we're done we're going to bake it in the toaster oven, and the Shrinky Dink paper will shrink down to about a third or half of its size, depending on what brand we have. And they make cute little charms that we'll use for our project. First, you'll start off with your Shrinky Dink paper, and we're gonna sand this plastic. If you have different directions, I will give those to you. And we'll be using about a 300, 320 sandpaper to do this. This will give the plastic a little bit of tooth so that the color pencil will stick when you add color. And so what you'll do is just kind of buff this. So you can kind of see where that happened at, and you just want to make sure it's frosted like this, and that's where to hold the color. I would go ahead and do the whole sheet. If you want to add color to the other side, you'll need to do this as well. For this one, I'm just going to do color on one side, but I will trace it on both sides so that you can see the design. You could do like two different colors if you wanted to. This one was only traced on one side, so you only see the design on the one side, but you still have the color on the back. So whichever you decide to do. You can take your image, and about between 1.5 inches, 2 inches works really well. You could take a screenshot on your cell phone and trace it off of there. I'm gonna have this one, and I'm just gonna lay it over there. Make sure you're kind of in the corner because we want to fit at least 4 images on here, maybe 5. You could fit more depending on the size. I want a little bit of room on the outside because I will be cutting this out, and I don't want to go clear the edge because I want it to be rounded. When they shrink, if they're square, they become sharp. This one I did a flag, but I rounded the edges so it wouldn't be quite as sharp. So then I'm going to take an extra fine Sharpie, and I'm going to go ahead and just trace the design, provided my Sharpie works. Grab a different one. Anything you want black could be colored in with the Sharpie. Okay, so I have that one, and I could just flip it over. And if I want to do the black on there, I could go ahead and just trace that on. Okay, and I'm not going to finish the whole thing for the demo, but you understand what to do there. Once this is done, I can add color. So I just take my color pencil on the sanded side. You can layer your colors. I have a couple of examples I'll show you. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to shrink down. But you do want to make sure to cover all the areas. So I would finish that up too. Like this one. Did kind of a red, orange, yellow in the back there. So it's kind of cute. Okay, I finished coloring that. Once I'm done with that, it would look something like this. And I have the back done as well. Then I would take the hole punch. Decide where you want this to hang. What we're going to do is put the hole punch in and then cut out around your image. So like this one, I put him up here. Maybe I want him to hang from the side. So it's using the regular hole punch and put that in. And then the scissors, I'm going to cut out around. Be sure to leave about where my thumb is of space. If you get too close, when this shrinks, the hole will disappear, and you don't want that to happen. So similar to what I have right here, about that much space. And I am going to round it. Don't worry about cutting it close to the image to try to get it right up in there. The plastic kind of rips if you try to do that. So I usually just go out around, and it doesn't distract from the image to do this. And cut in there. Okay, so I have a really rounded image there. And then you'll take this over to the toaster oven and bake it. The marks are already made on the toaster oven, and you would just put it on the paper. We're actually gonna go over there right now. So I'm gonna take my image. We're going to plug in the toaster oven. So I have that over here. And then all the settings are up here. There's also directions posted up above. So I have the temp should be at the red mark down here. It should be on bake. I'm going to turn this over to about 20 minutes. What I would do is I'm going to put my Shinky Dink on the paper. This you want to let warm up for quite a while. It's kind of warm because somebody just used it. I'm putting it on cardstock, and I'm leaving this edge folded up so that when it's done, I'm going to pull this straight out onto the counter and let it cool off for just a minute. So I'm going to put this in, and we're going to watch it bake.